The mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 vanished from radar screens while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. It was carrying 239 passengers and crew, and the world was left stunned by the sudden disappearance of a commercial airliner. Despite a massive search and rescue operation, no trace of the aircraft has ever been found. This documentary will delve into the events leading up to the disappearance of MH370 and examine the various theories surrounding the mystery. MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m. local time on March 8, 2014. The flight was scheduled to arrive in Beijing at 6:30 a.m. local time. The flight was uneventful for the first few hours, but at 1:19 a.m., the last communication from the cockpit was heard. The pilot, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, said, "Good night, Malaysia 370," as the flight crossed into Vietnamese airspace. This was the last communication from the cockpit, and it was the first sign that something was amiss. At 1:21 a.m., MH370 disappeared from radar screens. Air traffic controllers tried to contact the aircraft, but immediately after the plane disappeared from radar screens, authorities began to organize search and rescue operations in the South China Sea, where the plane was believed to have gone down. This initial search was focused on a relatively small area, based on the last known location of the aircraft. However, as days turned into weeks, the search area was expanded to include vast stretches of the Indian Ocean. The search involved an international coalition of more than 24 countries, including Australia, China, and the United States. The search operation involved a combination of satellite imagery, oceanic drift modeling, and underwater sonar scanning.
In the years since the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a multitude of theories have emerged, ranging from the plausible to the downright bizarre. In this section of the documentary, we will explore some of the most prominent theories and speak with experts in the aviation industry to gain insight into their plausibility. One of the earliest theories to emerge was that of pilot suicide. This theory suggests that one or both pilots intentionally crashed the plane, either because of personal issues or as an act of terrorism. The fact that the plane's transponder was turned off deliberately and the flight path was changed supports this theory to some extent. However, there is no concrete evidence to suggest that either pilot had any motive to commit such an act, and investigations into their personal and professional backgrounds have yielded few clues. Another theory is that the plane was hijacked by terrorists, who then flew the aircraft to a remote location to use as a weapon. This theory gained some traction in the early days of the investigation, but it has since been largely dismissed due to a lack of evidence. There were no claims of responsibility from any terrorist organizations, and no debris or wreckage has ever been found. A third theory is that the plane suffered a catastrophic mechanical failure, such as an explosion or fire, which caused it to crash into the ocean. While this theory is plausible, investigators have found no evidence of such an event and have been unable to locate any debris that would suggest a catastrophic failure occurred. In addition to these more mainstream theories, there have also been a number of more outlandish theories put forward. Some people have suggested that the plane was shot down by a military aircraft, while others believe that it was abducted by aliens. While these theories may seem far-fetched, they highlight the extent to which people are willing to go to explain the unexplainable. Throughout this section of the documentary, we will explore these various theories in detail, speaking with experts in the field of aviation to gain insight into their plausibility. We will also examine some of the evidence that has been gathered over the years and try to piece together what might have happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. The investigation into the disappearance of MH370 was one of the most complex in aviation history. Several theories emerged, ranging from mechanical failure to hijacking to pilot suicide. The investigation into the disappearance of MH370 was one of the most complex and extensive in aviation history. The search operation covered a vast area of the Indian Ocean and involved multiple countries and agencies. Despite this massive effort, no debris was found until a piece of wing washed up on a beach in Reunion Island over a year later. As the investigation progressed, several theories emerged about what could have happened to the plane. One of the earliest and most plausible theories was that the plane suffered from a mechanical failure, possibly involving the aircraft's communication and navigation systems. Another theory was that the plane was hijacked, either by a passenger or a member of the crew, and flown off course intentionally. One of the most controversial theories was that the plane was deliberately crashed by one of the pilots, either as an act of suicide or for some other unknown reason. Some experts argued that the actions of the pilot in the hours before the disappearance suggested a deliberate diversion from the flight path. However, this theory was met with skepticism by many, and no concrete evidence has been found to support it. Other, more outlandish theories also emerged, including the possibility of the plane being shot down or abducted by aliens. These theories were quickly dismissed by experts in the field of aviation, who argued that there was no evidence to support such claims. Despite the intense investigation and search efforts, the disappearance of MH370 remains one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. The families of the passengers and crew continue to seek answers and closure, and the aviation industry has implemented several changes in response to the incident, including improvements in tracking technology and increased communication between pilots and air traffic control. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 is one of the greatest aviation mysteries of all time. Despite years of searching, we still do not know what happened to the plane and those on board. This documentary has explored the events leading up to the disappearance, the search operation that followed, and the various theories that have emerged in the years since. While we may never know what truly happened to MH370, this tragedy has had a profound impact on the aviation industry and the world at large. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 shocked the world and left many unanswered questions. Despite extensive searches and investigations, the fate of the aircraft and its passengers remains unknown. It is a tragedy that will not be forgotten, and one that serves as a reminder of the importance of aviation safety and the need for continued improvements in industry.